from the looks of things, even this year, 2 trillion naira is what has gone in for recurrent, while 2.9 trillion naira is what is being pegged for capital. And the people out there, you and I, are wondering, are we not important?
Yes, we are important, Emana. The point is that it is not deliberate to spend so little, comparatively with the recurrent expenditure, and comparatively with the demands of the society on capital outgoings. The reason is this: it is the money available to the government that the government would spend. The income that comes to the government is what the government will spend. The recurrent expenditure is an overhead cost. They are there, they are static, they are constant. All the government needs to do so as to raise the level of capital expenditure is to devise ingenious means, to be ingenious in devising means of reducing recurrent expenditure, bringing down costs on maintaining the civil service, costs of running government offices. Those expenditures that are recurrent. Government can do something in reducing them.
When you say cutting down government expenditure, one thing that always comes to mind is the issue of the pay of the lawmakers, for instance. Of course, they've come to explain that there's a whole lot of bureaucracy, you know, money has to go into. Nothing is being said these days about the sacrificial or sacrifice by the lawmakers, because can that start from the top to the bottom? When the civil servant has a minimum wage of 18,000 naira and is still agitating for more.
There are still civil servants in the National Assembly. I have on different occasions called for part-time legislature. I think part-time legislature will solve the problem of big capital outlay for the National Assembly, but I think it goes beyond that. I think we are not being fair to the National Assembly, because even the executive arms, if you see the ministers, just watch out for the ministers and their convoys and look closely at what most ministers or ministers as a whole earn. You would find out that even they themselves earn so much more than the legislators, or of equal sums. So I think that the need for sacrifice should be across board, not only the legislature, not only on the National Assembly. There's an undue attention. I think it borders on propaganda against the National Assembly. We should extend this.
Okay, so if we are going to extend it across board, be it from the ministers to the legislators to the very least person, with the reality that is on ground today, can Nigeria really afford this budget? You know, there's so much borrowing going on and or whatnot, and then...
Well, in reality, Nigeria cannot afford the budget, but not as it specifically concerns the legislators. We should shift from focusing excessively on the legislators. Yes, they need to throw a lot onto the table. They need to relinquish some of those bogus expenditures, especially the extra codes, some of the hidden allowances that they take. But we also have much more expenditures in the executive, in the MDAs. You will be surprised some of these heads of agencies, what they take home, what they take as extra codes, what they take as allowances. Some of these agencies have much huge expenditures than what we are looking at in the National Assembly. So why we insist that the National Assembly should throw some sacrifices onto the table, we should also spread the message across board. Now, I understand the judiciary. If anything, the judiciary should be cushioned. The judiciary should be effectively taken care of. But the executive, I believe that there is a lot to be brought out from the executive expenditure. Now, let's ask one question. Can anybody now tell us how much has been spent on the health of the president as at today? Or how much was spent even before the last time he came back from the United Kingdom. So some of these expenditures are expenditures that, if they are made public, if they are made transparent, then we can judge honestly and dispassionately. But when some of these things are hidden, you find out that this other body, the National Assembly, that has brought their own expenditure out to the table, they appear now to be like a sacrificial lamb. But indeed, this 125 billion is not going directly into the pockets of the members of the National Assembly. We must get that straight. There are a whole gamut of expenditures, a whole gamut of headings that are covered by that 125 billion.
Let's go back a little. You said you've always advocated, or you advocate for part-time legislature as a way of also cutting costs. Well, maybe the spotlight is on the National Assembly somehow, because they are the lawmakers anyway. When you say part-time lawmaking, what happens then to the oversight functions that they have to carry? How would that work?
Part-time means that they don't have to lodge in Abuja. They don't have to stay in Abuja. They will have their regular jobs, their regular businesses, running their regular businesses. When there is a need for them to make a law or act or do any form of oversight, they are summoned. They come, they converge on Abuja or on the center and do what they have to do. And after doing what they have to do, 2-3 days, they go back and again they are called back. It helps. And there are a lot of countries that run these kind of systems. There are certain countries also that run systems that do not spend so much money on the legislature, such that it is not what you earn there that would make you as a legislature, but what you get as CV. So at the end of the day, you are looking for a certificate to show that you've been a member of parliament previously in your life, and it will help you in your other endeavors post being a member of the parliament.
One other point that Mr. Falana raised was that the budget should be subjected to scrutiny.
Absolutely.
The issue of zero budgeting comes to mind. There are suggestions that some of the MDAs, if not all, have appropriations year in, year out, and sometimes over for the same things. For instance, let's use the ICT ministry, for instance, maybe computers. Someone said perhaps everybody in the ICT ministry should have a personal computer or several personal computers with the amount of monies appropriated for computers every year. Would you say we've quite achieved the zero budgeting?
No, we haven't.
Are we on track?
We are not on track. There's no sign in manner to show that we are serious. If you study
what's the way forward? The
way forward is honesty. We lack honesty. Everybody thinks that getting into office in Nigeria is a source of income. And in point of fact, the society also expects so much from anybody who is known to be in the corridors of power, that you become a breadwinner, not only within your nuclear family, but within your extended family. So we have to address the social issues surrounding the pressures that people face once they get into power.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ikechukwu EKG, for joining us on the program tonight. Well, that's our show for you. Many thanks for being part of it. On behalf of the production team, I'm Imana Amale. Bye-bye.